had to become a consultant. And the irony is when I wrote my business thesis position paper, one that I spent a lot of research on, I wrote about why you shouldn't hire a business consultant and why it's actually not worth the money. It's a bad investment. Don't do it. And here I am, can't find a job in real estate. And lo and behold, I become a business consultant, which is what I had zero plans to do. And that's when I really fell in love with the career. I got connected in with a consulting group, a small boutique one that worked with flooring stores. And so I spent the next 3 years flying from company to company to company, mainly small family-owned businesses, multi-generational, and got to help them with inside sales and outside sales and merchandising and pricing and leadership development and cultural, like you name it. I got to work on it because a lot of these companies, they just didn't have a lot of business training or skills. And so I was kind of the guy who would fly in and help them with those things.
Out of curiosity, real quick, just because you hit on something with those mom and pops or generational type businesses, how many of those do you think actually ended up shutting their doors during the pandemic when they were, forced to either innovate or close down?
I would be guessing. I have no idea other than they're extremely resilient, those family businesses, and they are willing to, they take it personally. Right. It's not just like, oh, we'll just shut it down and just open up something new. It's very personal. Families involved. And so they find a way through. And maybe that's through massive downsizing as a family, or, brother or sister comes in to help, cousin comes in to help. But I don't know, they find a way through. That's why they last 50 or 60 or 80 years.
Yeah. No, that's excellent because I kind of was under the assumption that during the pandemic, a lot of the mom and pops that were hit harder while Walmarts and places like that were able to stay open, that a lot of them struggled to survive. But it sounds like from your point of view that you're a little bit more optimistic that more of those businesses actually survive.
Yeah.
And you're just guessing, to be clear, you're just guessing, but that's your gut feeling.
A lot of my clients certainly had to make some shifts. And I just a sidetrack for a little bit, but I had a number of clients at the time. And when the pandemic was starting, my advice was, this is going to be just kind of like the flu, we'll get through, it's no big deal. And then it turned to like, well, let's shift a little bit. Then I was like, well, get a little more efficient and cut here and there. And, I was really wrong. I was really wrong about that.
Well, I think everybody was wrong. I mean, it went from 2 weeks to what we're encroaching 3 years next month, in March. So that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it really shifted my, I had a mentor at the time. And I said, well, I'm having trouble giving good strategic long-term advice for my clients because I really don't know the future. And he said, Josh, when did you know the future? Like, tell me when you knew the future, because if you ever thought you did, it's kind of arrogant, kind of prideful. And so I spent a lot more time praying for my clients, and a lot more time trying to be mindful of that because, tomorrow something totally new can happen. I think that's why it's essential to, actually have somebody from the outside to give you some clear, objective perspective. And then I think it's also important.
The outsider looking in.
Exactly. Because people are so easily stay head down in their habits and they don't necessarily see reality the way it is because they're immersed in their own forest. So that's really helpful. And then also people need to shift, right? More so now than ever. They have to be nimble. They have to be resilient. They have to be able to adjust to the market, and they can't just expect things to be stable and static like they've been before because we're not in that world anymore.